Welcome back to the show, everybody. Take a look at these numbers. Central banks march towards a new system. It's getting real, ladies and gentlemen. And 8 days away from summary judgment, could we see a settlement in the Ripple versus SEC case? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for exclusive content. It's 1,018 billion is where the market is on this day. Shout out to Coin Paprika. Listen, it's Labor Day here in the United States. I want to shout out every one of you hardworking people out here in this country. This holiday is for all of us. And it really marks the exceptionalism of every one of the Americans in this country who are hardworking and who have built this country to be what it is. Now, I want to embrace everybody today in their hard work, no matter where you are in the world. But what I want to say is that I believe the economy is really headed towards a very, very trying moment. And it will be for all of us and not just in America. And that's my speculation. And I tell you, I do see some things that are very concerning and compelling, but I hope this stays with us, is that through anything, we look within ourselves, we work hard, we don't stop until we get what we want, just whether we're in the crypto space or whether we're talking about life in general. I know that that's what drives me every day, 7 days a week. That's why we bring it to you. I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to stop by and tune in to this channel, and I celebrate all of you, no matter where you are. Happy Labor Day. Right here we see Bitcoin 19,700 plus. Ethereum 1,500 plus. XRP is 32 cents at the number 8 spot. Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm using my Glint card, baby. I'm buying things with gold and I'm hedging inflation. If you want to be able to do the same thing or just continue to accumulate physically allocated gold to you that is held in a very safe Brinks vault, you can do so with Glint. Click the link underneath the video. And we see things are moving. South Korea tech giant LG Electronics has tapped into Hedera Hashgraph, ladies and gentlemen, network to bring NFTs to television screens, and is also testing a crypto wallet, which we reported last week. Shout out to Michael Branch. Give him a follow. Brad Sherman, who is not a fan of crypto and certainly even more not a fan of XRP, he told the Times, adding, "We didn't ban it at the beginning because we didn't realize it was important." Well, that's obvious. "And we didn't ban it now because there's too much money and power behind it." Oh, someone vote Brad Sherman out of office, please. Please, I'm asking. For me and a friend. But you know what? This article, crypto researcher says post Ethereum's merge, it talks about Bitcoin here. It says Bitcoin could become the first cryptocurrency to be regulated away, at least in certain jurisdictions such as the US or the European Union. You know who else said this a while ago? BK, baby. You damn right I did. And I've said this for a long time, in fact, right? Because the reality here is this, is that because of proof of work, this is the target. This is the bullseye on its back because of so much energy consumption. And there are other options. And I want to see Bitcoin win. I don't want to see it lose. I want to see it win. But listen, I've been just as critical of Bitcoin and proof of work and whether it could be regulated out of existence, and which is true. It could happen. And we see it already in some areas. But the reality is, I've been just as critical to examine XRP. Could it be a security? You know how that makes my tummy feel to have to think about that? I've done tons of videos on it. You know, or the idea that the SEC is really trying to get a classification that would take the opportunity that we have as retail investors and take it away from us to be able to get XRP in the same fashion that we have been in the United States, which may not affect the rest of the world. You know, it's like these things are very uncomfortable. So I just want to be full disclosure that I'm fair as I can be to try to look at these different assets, whether it's Bitcoin and I crack on it, or whether we have to go down a scary road and look at some scenarios that we're not really happy about when it comes to XRP. Just in, the US dollar index hits a 20-year high of 110.25. Now, look, this is consequently, the euro has just dropped below 99 cents for the first time in 20 years after Russia halted gas flows. Now, you take these two things and understand that we're moving into a very, very trying time. People are getting hit with enormous gas bills, electric bills, gas bills over in the UK. I've seen some crazy numbers that are unsustainable, by the way. And you factor in the sanctions aren't working. In fact, they're starting to cut the nose off, spite the face. They're hurting the European Union because that's where they were getting their resources from. How long is that going to last? You know, when you look at all of this and the money printing to go along with it, the liquidity crisis that exists, there are some very, very severe issues in front of the world. Not just the European Union or the United States, the world. We are all connected at the hip, ladies and gentlemen. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, says that collaboration between central banks and crypto technology could create an innovative and efficient monetary ecosystem. And isn't what all of these troubles that we've just highlighted pointing to? A more efficient system that could reignite the velocity of money, how fast we can get it from one hand to another, and unlock Nostro accounts for the first time in the history of cross-border payments to eliminate pre-funding, to really create access to that dormant capital, because we are moving into a very, very trying time. I do believe that is correct. And I've always believed that XRP was an answer for a very bad situation. I never thought that, it would be, 65 and sunny, and all of a sudden, hey, well, why don't we just use this new money? No, there's going to be a reason why they need a new money. And it isn't just because it's efficient. Right? It will be because there is going to have to be a massive transition. Look at how long the monetary system has been in place with the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Now, I'm not saying it will come down, but in history past, it has shown us that there can be more than one during a time of transition. And I believe that time is coming quicker than we realize. Report mentions about 97 central bank digital currencies as of July this year. Out of this number, 2 have been launched. 15 are in pilot stages. Additionally, 15 more are currently in proof of concept, with 65 countries still carrying out the research on theirs. Here's a number you're going to want to think about. G7, G20. The largest economies of the world. They close that loop, and then everybody else can just plug in when ready. That's how I'm seeing that. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't see a lot of these piloted ideas tried in smaller countries, whether it's retail-facing CBDC or otherwise. But I do believe that what we really want to watch is for them to be able to close a very tight circle. Remember this as we get more and more information on CBDC development, launches, proof of concept, and those things. Keep this in mind. When it comes to cross-border remittances, there is only a small handful of banks that process those payments and settlement for the rest of the banks. Keep that in mind. It is a very closed loop that actually does the payment and settlement for the rest of the banks that need it. And this is a reminder here that XRP Ledger is being spoken on the United Nations headquarters floor when it talks about how proud they are to note the reference to its ongoing use of forensic tools to combat financial crimes on the XRP Ledger. Very easy to use these forensic tools to monitor it for bad actors. We know it is a carbon neutral ledger. We know it is efficient. We know it has side chains, and we know in another week or so, it's going to have NFT capability too, right? Listen to this quick clip here.
Another illustration where ICT can be used to combat crime is of this Estonia-based non-profit organization called XRP Ledger Foundation, which has used blockchain and AI to identify and to warn users about financial crimes using XRP Ledger.
Now, I tell you, I mean, this, to me, this really highlights what a lot of us have known but this conversation is happening in the United Nations headquarters. That's where this is happening. Keep that in mind. Now let's turn towards the case and everything around it, because we're ticking down, ladies and gentlemen. We're 8 days away from summary judgment filing. We're going to hear from an old post from Jeremy Hogan here in just a second as a reminder as well. John Deaton gives reasons why the SEC would have been wrong if it had classified Ethereum as a security. Take a listen to this. It says right here, crypto law founder, I want to start actually right here. Crypto law founder believes the SEC would have been wrong if it labeled XRP as security. The reason he gives is that ETH, like XRP, is an alphanumeric code. If the SEC labeled ETH itself a security, it would be wrong. He says, I'm not saying that the government shouldn't go after bad actors. ETH, like XRP, is alphanumeric code. If the SEC labeled ETH itself a security, it would be wrong. Going after individuals who broke the law is different. And I think that is a very key thing to make a point about. Just like Tornado Cash is alphanumeric code and they arrest a guy. Now, if the government leaders want things to be different, then pass laws that say if you create a decentralized yabba, 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 ABC 1, 2, 3, then you have to have KYC, AML built into your platform. If you want it, pass the law, but don't arrest people when you haven't put the speed limit on the road here. John Deaton shares this late yesterday. He says, you can be the biggest e-supporter in the world and still recognize this speech for what it is, talking about the Hinman speech. And if Hinman's speech was screened for conflicts and blessed by the SEC ethics department, he and the SEC would have stated so by now. Nothing is preventing them from saying the speech was cleared. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one more reason how we know that there was some kind of funny business going on there. And I tell you, that is pretty damn compelling information right there. And again, go after the bad actors that were involved here, right? Because obviously it was used as a weapon. Now, we do have 8 days to go for the first filing of this actual summary judgment. This is a moment we've been waiting for. We still don't have a decision on the Hinman emails. Head on a swivel for that. But as we move closer to that, keep this in mind, because this is a great analysis as shared by Jeremy Hogan here, who says the same. One thing I'm interested to see soon in the summary judgment briefing is what extent Ripple makes the comparison between XRP and Ethereum. I am looking forward to that too. And from a dingo ate by XRP, early in Ripple versus SEC case, Netburn decided internal memos were relevant, memos about how the SEC chose to treat Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, and what factors drove their thinking. Why? Scientier, in part. If the SEC didn't know XRP was a security, neither could Brad and Chris or Ripple, right? It goes on here to say, and I believe I have it right here. It is, yeah. I have it right here. It says, but things go deeper than the individual defendants here. I believe Netburn expected the SEC to argue that ETH and XRP differed in fundamental ways. That's why the docs would be especially relevant since, of course, they stated ETH was not a security. But the Hinman affidavit turned the story on its head. Just imagine a judge asking for docs that helped the SEC explain why they treated ETH differently, only to get the response, we didn't. The argument she assumed would be a key theory of the case gone. Netburn knew the assets would have to be compared in the absence of clear regulation. She believed the Hinman speech would be their guiding light, and then they just pretended it didn't happen. I think it speaks both to the arrogance of the SEC and their severe short-sightedness in this case. The judge handed them an opportunity to use prior decision-making to beef up their flimsy argument, but instead they just replied, no thanks. What a great thread that is. And it is right on point, too. I really do believe that. And thank you, Jeremy, for sharing it. I don't know if I'd have seen it, and Dingo ate my XRP for bringing it out there. But it makes me think of this. Shout out to Jungle Inc., by the way, who put his money on the table, and he believes we could see a settlement by sometime into September here. This goes all the way back here, right? All the way back, April 29, 22. This is most likely time for a settlement of any case is between the end of discovery and the filing of dispositive motions. In our case, that is basically any time from now until September 13th. Jeremy Hogan, April 29th. I don't know what happens, but I tell you, this is a window to pay attention to, right? Personally, for me, I think because if the XRP ledger is so very important to house all the money, as they say, I think we get a decision from the judge that allows the SEC to claim a win, Ripple to claim a win, but then it may be appealed by the SEC possibly, and it may go all the way to the Supreme Court for finality. But that doesn't mean Ripple, XRP, and the ledger, if they get the right kind of decision from this judge in this case, can't move forward while that appeal waits to higher court. That much I do know, but I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm paying very close attention to see where that goes. Looking right here, we see, I like the sound of MegaBullrun, I could tell you that. And if we get this settlement in the case, who knows where it could go and what could happen. Shout out to Eggrad Crypto, who reminds us, XRP Advanced Stochastic and 21 EMA. XRP is in the most oversold territory, April 22. There you can see right there. Bears are exhausted due to low selling volume. Bullish cross is inevitable and the price is overextended for the 21 EMA. Flipping the EMA into support will activate XRP MegaBullrun. Talking about that right there, ladies and gentlemen. And maybe we see 60 cents if we get back above that. How nice would that be? But you could also see how oversold everything is. So who knows where this goes, but I think a little fundamental news wouldn't hurt. Ladies and gentlemen, not your keys, not your crypto. And by the way, there are great features outside of just holding your own crypto. Ledger's got their own exchange. You can buy and sell, swap, trade, all of that directly from your cold storage wallet. Don't believe me? Download the mobile app and everything else with it and try it yourself. But there's a link underneath the video for a great deal on it if you want it. I'll catch all of you on the next one.